And this is my freshly painted Losi Super Baja Rey 2.0 body. And in this video I'm going to show you guys how we use fluorescent paints and truck bed coating to paint these RC bodies, and then how we use a Cricut maker to cut our own custom vinyl decals. Let's jump right into the paint and the process. And lately we've been experimenting with these Tamiya fluorescent paints, kind of going for this OG late 80s, early 90s kind of neon craze where everything you looked at had like a gradient or a fade with some neon splatter. And we're using Tamiya PS paints on this whole body, and we started with a metallic purple splatter, and that's a PS 18. And we just got a paintbrush and sprayed that into the cup of the paint can and just basically whipped it and splattered it all over the body. And the trick is just loading up the brush enough so that you actually get a splatter, but it does not enough to actually drip. And it's been really difficult to actually get this to make it look proper, and I think that this is probably the best job that I've done of the splatter effect for my paint job so far. So after the splatter dried, we started with the darkest color first, and this is a PS 24 fluorescent orange from Tamiya, and then that fades into a PS 27 fluorescent yellow, and then that fades into a PS1 white, and then the whole entire body is actually backed with Rust-Oleum truck bed coating. And I just started off with some really light coats, and by adjusting the distance from the body at the end of the throw, you can kind of get that gradient where it goes into the yellow, and then just being careful not to get a ton of overspray on the sections that need to be different colors, and that's kind of how we came up with that fade. And I think one of the keys in these fades is by working with colors that are close in the color wheel that don't actually mix, and then by allowing each color to fully dry before you get into the next color for that fade so that you don't get any weird blending. Once we got the body all painted and sealed up, we moved on to figuring out this decal livery. I usually just freestyle my graphics and stickers, but I couldn't really come up with anything. I headed over and snapped a few pics of the body, and we took those over into Photoshop, and then I kind of just take some graphics and manipulate and kind of figure out where I want to place some stuff and the sizing wise. So now that we actually had like a basic livery design, what you got to do is actually fit these decals to fit the body. So we just took a ruler and measured different distances from the body buttons to figure out our spacing and the length for these decals, and then we take those measurements over into the Cricut software. And basically you just measure, you know, from this fender gap to the top of the fender, measure that, and then you make your graphic that exact height. When's the last time you guys seen a No Fear logo? Tell me in the comments. And then once we upload our images into Cricut design software, up at the top there's a sizing box, and make sure you have the lock check so that it closes and maintains the aspect ratio when you resize your graphics. Once you have your graphics the size you want, you can right click and duplicate that graphic for the quantity you need, and then repeat that until you have roughly filled up the 12x12 work area. It's so easy to use too. Once you press make it, the software automatically arranges all the items to fit the mat, and then it just allows you to just basically load your mat, press cut, and just watch the thing cut, and you're off to the races. And the supplies we're going to be using is just the standard Cricut light grip cutting mats, a 12x12, and some premium vinyl and some standard transfer tape. And what we did is just got that black vinyl and just cut it so that it matched the 12x12 sheet, and then stuck it to the light grip mat. Alright, this is a Cricut maker. We swooped this on Amazon. We'll get this thing fired up, and I do have this wired to my PC via USB. And we just came back from the design space, and it's got the little load button, so we'll take our mat that we got preloaded with that premium vinyl and just get it set in these two little mark spots. Set, and then we'll load and cut. Simple as that. And after about maybe 5-10 minutes, we'll be back and show you guys what these look like. And fresh off the cutter, looking pretty good. The detail just always amazes me with these things. So now the next step is going to be taking off the back layer, and then once we get that done, I'll show you guys what that looks like. So we took off the outer layer, and now what we got to do is go in and remove all of the dead space so that the logos actually pop, and then inside all the O's and the R's. So we're just going to go through right now and clean up all of these, and then we'll show you guys what it looks like. And with a little cutting and a steady hand, we got a full graphic sheet. So we're going to take some of this transfer tape, put a little 12x12 piece on that, and then get this off the cutting mat. And with some patience and some cutting, we got ourselves a full decal kit that's custom sized to fit our SBR 2.0. I just don't think my camera does this paint job enough justice, but that is how we use a Cricut and a little bit of patience to get ourselves a decal set that actually fits the scale of RC truck. I have a lot of fun painting up these bodies, so if you guys want to see more stuff like this, hit that like and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you guys later. Peace.
9.6-speed turbo bandits, radio control pickups with a bad attitude, and rechargeable 9.6-speed turbo, rip-roaring high-flying bandits. Yahoo! 9.6 9.6V Turbo Bandit. Batteries sold separately.
TV20.